All right, everybody. I just got done with the first day. I've been trying to figure out how to set this up so that uh, everybody can see and kind of get a format of putting these videos together. I'm going to open up Ninja real quick uh, so that I can show everybody my settings on everything that I've been testing. Uh, so I'm using an SMA strategy. Excuse me. So I'm using an SMA strategy. Um, and just changing the settings on the Vega bars uh, and filtered filtering by the SMAs to figure out what works best. So first off, let's pull up the bot. Uh, so you can see that because I have the template set for the bot. Um, and this template is for YM, the DAO. Because to me, the DAO just gives much cleaner price action than NQ does. There's a lot less wiki-ness to it. So I prefer trading the DAO. Not to say I won't trade NQ, um, but it's just my personal preference. So we have it on market orders with just the buy signals and sell signals, um, the bearish and bullish shifts. Okay. Um, for the backtesting purposes, I'm just using one mini. This is not micros, this is a mini. So you have to do your calculations from there if you're using micros. Divide by 10, and that'll give you profit or loss per micro that you're using from my numbers. And if you're using minis and you're using more, just multiply by the number of minis that you're using there. So I have my take profit set at 120 ticks and my stop loss set at 40. With one mini, this 40 tick stop is a $20 loss. Okay. Um, it is $5 a tick. Uh, one tick is 1 point on YM if you don't already know. So a 40-point stop loss at $5 a tick is a $200 stop loss, which is very suitable for the larger accounts. Um, and that would be obviously a $20 stop loss on one micro. So I have trailing set up here. I don't use break even. I use my trailing stop and I trail it by 30 ticks and I initiate the trailing stop once we hit 40 ticks, okay, which is the same as a stop loss. So once I hit 1 to 1, I want to go ahead and trail that stop loss. All right. Um, and then I have my max profit per day at $1,000 and my max loss per day at $500. So um, that is all the settings for the bot. Um, and they stay the same. Nothing changes on the bot, okay, through all the testing. So that will remain the same. All right. So of course, Vega bars, those do change with each testing session. And what I do there is I run a 20 Vega, 30 Vega, 40 Vega. I believe I tested a 50 Vega, and then I moved to the 100 and the 200. Okay. Um, and that is the only thing that changes uh, there. Now, as far as the indicators, again, I said I'm using an SMA strategy here. So um, the biggest change between my testing here is going to be in the SMAs. Now, I use a 9, a 21, and a 200 SMA. Um, and the only thing that changes here is I have a certain set of testing done with filtering the 200, which means it's only going to take longs above the 200 SMA, and it's only going to take shorts below the 200 SMA. Okay, so um, that is the only thing that changes there. Um, I test the 200 with all of my Vega numbers, and then I switched over and tested the 21 with the Vega numbers. Now, I have done testing on both uh, London and New York combined, so starting the trades at 2 o'clock in the morning, which is basically the pre-market open for London, um, and then uh, running it through till 4:50 p.m. New York time. So running through the entire London and New York sessions. Okay. And then I just did some trading or some testing on just the London sessions. Okay. So that's basically all the changes that get made during the trading sessions. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down. I'm going to go ahead and shut down Ninja here because we don't need that. I have taken screenshots of the strategy's performance after each testing session. So let's just go ahead and start with, and this is only for August 1st, okay? This will be done for every day this month, and I think this month is a good month to trade this, and I'm probably going to run this on NQ as well, because YM did not make new highs this month, new all-time highs. Whereas NQ and ES did make new all-time highs. And for me personally, when we get to all-time highs, that's a very difficult place for me to manually trade. Um, so, or it has been at least before I started using this indicator set. Um, so, I would love to see, how this does at when we are at all-time highs and how the performance works. Again, YM did not make new all-time highs this month, so there was always liquidity above and below the market for YM to move around on. So let's just go ahead and open up. This is the London and New York session with the 200 SMA filtered. Okay, so if I open up the first one here, you'll see this is the 20 megabars. And again, we ran this through the entire London and New York session. Uh, the max drawdown here was 625 on the day. Now, this would be a specific number to end of day drawdown if you're using prop firms. If you're using an intraday drawdown, this number is going to actually be higher because a lot of the trades um, go up to profit and then pull back to the trailing stop and then get closed. So you're also losing some drawdown between the high of market back to the trailing stop, which is 30 ticks. And that's going to be, $150 uh, more added onto the trades. And the majority of these trades do get stopped out with the trailing stop because I have my full take profit at 120 ticks, which is 120 points. Now, YM does move anywhere between 5 and 600 points a day, which is why I have such a large take profit zone, because when those trades do hit that do move those 100 100, point moves without pulling back, and they do happen, I want to be able to catch those. Those are going to be my larger trades, but I want to be able to catch them. So be very careful with these numbers when you're looking at them. If you're using an intraday drawdown, um, the max drawdown here is based on end of day. It will be higher for an intraday because of that. Okay. So the profit factor here was 1.59. Not great. I would really like to be at 2 or above on the profit factor. But we did make, you know, our daily profit. Okay. It closed the last trade at $985 in profit. Um, and that's fine. And this was only a 16% uh, win rate. Okay. And it was pretty even between the longs and the shorts taken. Okay. Um, so, you know, again, this I am going to put this on an intraday drawdown account. Now, it's going to be a larger account, probably like a 150K account where I have about $5,000 in drawdown. Um, and I'm going to have to watch it and see, how much drawdown am I taking there? I may have to move my take profit so that some of my trades, or switch it around to where the majority of my trades are getting to the profit target and not taking that extra little drawdown uh, from the high of the trade back to the trailing stop. So we'll just have to watch that and see. Um, I mean, you can see that the gross loss on there of all the losing trades was $1,660. So, you know, depending on where, if some of these trades got, the initial drawdown back and before they hit profit, um, I don't know how much of that 1660 would actually be the intraday drawdown. Okay, so we'll have to watch that. But we did hit our daily profit goal here on the 20, um, and this was filtered by the 200. So we were only taking longs above the 200 and shorts below the 200. So let's go to the next one. And this was the 40 Vega bars running the same thing. Now, this I like a lot. Our max drawdown dropped by $200, and our gross losses dropped by almost $1,000. So this would work very well with the intraday drawdown. Um, there's no way I hit $5,000 in drawdown there. Um, you know, and this session also hit our daily profit target of $1,000. So very nice on this one, and profit factor was above 2, so I like that. So far, that I think, well, out of the two that I've shown, this is the best performing template for the YM on this day. Okay, this was a down day um, that chopped around a bit once it got to the bottom of the day. It went into consolidation at that point. Um, so yeah, but we'll take a look at that. Um, Probability. I don't know if that's a win rate or not. I don't feel like this was um, a 9%. Um, Only a 9% win rate on the day. I think it was higher than that. Um, so I'm gonna have to see. I don't know if I can add that to a column. Um, I really want to know what the ulcer index is, which is it's too funny. So we'll move on to the next one. But right now, I think the 40 certainly outperformed the 20s. Okay, so we move up to the 50s. Our max drawdown dropped just a little bit more, not by much, and the gross loss was pretty much the same. The only problem with the 50 is that we only made $245 on the day. Okay. Um, so there just aren't enough trades showing up. Um, and our profit factor went down because of that, of course. Um, so there just weren't enough trades showing up uh, to get the kind of profit out of trading one mini that I would like to see on the 50. Okay. Um, the 100 actually lost money. Um, again, when you're this far below the 200, um, and you start trading on a day that starts trying to move back towards the 200, you're just not going to get as good of trades on the higher Vega bars. Okay, uh, I definitely noticed that. Um, and then the 200, we did get one trade, and it hit the trailing stop after going into profit and made $295. Okay. Um, okay, so 0%, and that was just one trade. So yeah, this is probably the lower the percentage, the higher your win rate. Okay, so that 9% was a really good win rate day. Um, obviously, profit factor is through the roof because we only had one trade and it was profitable. Um, but still, not enough profit uh, for trading one mini for an entire day through London and New York for me to be happy with it. So uh, the higher time frames just aren't working for me in this strategy, um, at least with filtering the 200. Um, so let's go into some. The 40 megabars on 8/1 was the best day uh, with a very low max drawdown of around $425 and hitting profit target of $1,000. Even though we didn't quite get the 1,000, I'm just going to call it 1,000. All right, so let's move on to the next set of um, changes here. And this is um, the New York session only, and that's the 21. So let's go to New York session only with the 200, because that was the first session we did was London and New York with the 200 filtered. So let's go to just the New York session and see what we got. Again, I start out with the 20, and we did hit our daily profit here, and the max drawdown was around that 400, between 400 and $450 mark, which was great. Um, the gross loss did not exceed that. That was pretty much it. Um, the probability is 8.63, so it was a high win rate day. Um, and the profit factor was very nice at 3.23. So I'm looking at, you know, running it from London pre-market at 2 a.m. all the way through the New York market and closing all trades by 4:50 in the afternoon and seeing what's better. Is it better just to trade the New York session, or does it help or hurt to run it through London and New York? Um, so far, I would say, on this day in particular, it really didn't matter. We made the same amount of money. Um, and we made this money by, yeah, that is correct. Um, now, the New York session, I believe I run from 8:45. Um, until 9:45. I am pretty sure that's what I have. What I had. Um, I did do some testing starting at 8 o'clock, which is the pre-market open uh, for New York. Um, but there was an issue with one day where the news came out at 8:30 and it just screwed everything up. It ends up turning the bot off, and I have to go back through and reset it. And resetting everything just clears out the trays that were taken between 8 and 8:30. So at some point, I just started deciding to start running, excuse me, start running um, the trading session at 8:45 in the morning. Now, this one hit uh, pretty quick. Um, yeah, um, we didn't have a whole lot of trades um, on the long side, and we did have some drawdown there. So it was a few trades. I don't, yeah, 946. Because what happens is once I hit my target profit, I pause the clock. So what's got me wondering, and I didn't really pay attention to it to see, was this should be I made $1,000 by 9:46 in the morning. So that was like an hour of trading. At the most, it was an hour and 45 minutes of trading if this was started at 8 o'clock. So very good numbers. Just trading New York. I would like to see that continue because I would like to be able to just trade the New York session just so that I could supervise everything and not have the bot trading while I'm sleeping. Okay, so let's go on to the next one on the 40 Vega bars. And again, the 40 cut our max drawdown in half. We still hit our daily profit, um, and our gross loss was no more than the max drawdown. So that worked out really good. The profit factor's through the roof, almost 5%, almost at a 5, and that's fantastic. 3.86, which means a very high win rate day on the 40 Vega bars. So again, um, in just the New York session, the 40 Vega bars is uh, the better performing settings. Uh, so filtering with the 200 SMA and running Vega 40. Okay, is this is just one day, so let's see where it goes. I'm going to do the entire month of August, um, and I didn't start this till this evening, so you know um, I should be able to run several days of back testing during a day. Um, so come tomorrow, I should have several days to go over. Okay. So let's see where it goes. But on this particular day, the 40 Vega and the 200 seem to be working rather well. Let's go in and look at the 50. The 50 actually lost money. We hit our daily loss limit there. Um, so, yeah, no good. All right. Um, the 100 Vegas also lost money. Again, I just don't think um, my trading strategy works well with the higher Vega bars, which is basically uh, the same as a higher time frame. Um, and on the 200, we did get one trade that hit trend stop loss, and we made $295. Again, for trading one mini, that's just not good enough for me. So, all right. So that was New York on the 200 SMA. Let's go to um, New York only on the 21. Okay, now I did not run this through London and New York. Um, just because I want to see, I know this is going to be taking a lot of trades. So this is kind of something I would, I will run it through London and New York, um, but it's getting late in the evening, so I just wanted to go ahead and get this video made, um, and I'll probably start running the 21 SMAs through London and New York and see if that makes a difference. Because on the 20, we hit our daily loss limit. Okay. Um, I'm not sure how we got a max drawdown of $1,000 before hitting our daily loss limit there. Uh, Not real sure, but it is what it is. All right. And that was by 10:48 in the morning. We had hit our max. So let's take a look at the 40. Again, max daily loss limit of $500. Uh, just just not working. Uh, Trying to get on the 21. The 50 megabars, again, hit the daily loss limit. The 100 megabars, daily loss limit. And the 200, we actually made money, but again, not enough money for me to be happy about. Trading one mini and only catching one trade that only made $300. Okay. Um, so now, what I did go back because I realized that the 100 and the 200 Vega bars are for a longer period of time, uh, not just time frame charts, uh, but just longer periods of time. You're going to want to catch these trades when they show up, um, and you might be holding that trade all day long. Um, so what I did is I went back and I took the 100 Vega bars and I ran them through London and New York, okay, on the 21 SMA filter. Um, we didn't lose as much money, but we didn't make any money either on the 100. So not didn't change anything for me. I'm not liking the longer Vega bars right now. Um, and again, on the 200 through London and New York, we still only caught the one trade down here because the last signal um, that happened below the 21 was uh, on the day before. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. These signals don't show up as often. You have a bearish shift here, which would have failed. Um, you have a bullish shift, 2 days later, which um, you know would have failed, and then you have a bearish shift this day, which may have actually worked. Now, obviously, the one thing about this is your stop needs to go on market structure, right? So, the stop on this would have had to have gone above the 200 SMA. And that happened. This bar closed way down here, um, you know, below 44,600, probably closer to 44, 550. Um, and your stop's going to be, 100, 150 points. If you're just stay stopping above the 200. Now, if you trade that, by the end of the day, yeah, you're down here around, 44, 300. So you're catching a 300 point move on that, and you could add to that trade as well. These candles that touch and then fall off the 9 SMA. So you could be adding on the way down during the day, but you know the bot can't do that right now. So that would have, to me, the longer Vega bars, the 100s and the 200s, is something I would want to be trading manually because one, you're going to be going way down in your size unless you have really big drawdown. availability. Um, just because, even when you get your bearish signal, just to risk the bar itself that created the signal could be over 100 points. So a 40-point stop loss just doesn't work on these bars. Um, so I would want to be able to take that trade with very small size, 1 or 2 micros, and then add to it as price follows the 9 SMA down. Every touch at the 9 SMA is where I would want to be adding to that trade. Um, so again, the longer bars just aren't working for me. So right now, for August 1st, the 40 Vega bars filtering with the 200 and running it just in the New York session seems to be pretty good. So we'll see if that holds up and continue from there. But that's pretty much it, guys and gals. If there's any gals in here, and that's my day of back testing. So I am going to be getting my camera set up. Of course, with my mini PC, I don't have a laptop anymore, so it doesn't come with a built-in camera like my laptop had. But I do have a couple of DSLR cameras because I was a photographer at one point. I just need to get them plugged in and set up to run uh, before I can show everyone my pretty face while I make these videos. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad I could keep that right around 30 minutes and not make it a very long video. Um, Take note if you do watch this video and you want to take notes on my bot settings. Um, you know, this video is the only one where I'm going to show the bot settings from here on out because those aren't going to change. Those are the settings I'm going to use. I'm just trying to figure out which Vega bars, which SMA filters, what sessions, and what times during the day um, is the best for me to use that those bot settings because that is my trading system. It is an SMA system. So um, that'll do it for today. Hope everybody enjoyed this and look forward to posting tomorrow's results as well.